stretching the heavens, and the dilation of time. We've talked a little bit about that in a number of our previous studies, but I get so many questions in this general area that we decided to go at it. All of us face a fundamental dilemma. How many of you in the room recognize that the universe appears to be something in the order of 16 billion years old? How many know that? Now, see, some of you may not know that, but that's because you're not informed. If you're in astronomy, if you're an astrophysicist, there's all kinds of evidence to indicate the universe is 16 billion years old. But let me ask you again, how many of you know that the age of the universe is that old? My hand is up, by the way. Let's say I just got a feeling. Okay, we've got less than, okay. Of course, the other question is, how many of you believe that the universe was created in 144 hours, or 6 days? How many there? See, that's the politically correct response in this group. So. But that's the dilemma. How many of you have been confronted by your children or somebody else trying to reconcile the apparent age of the universe on the one hand with the idea that it was created in 6 days? How many have run into that problem? How many feel they can handle that problem? Okay, good for you. Anyway, all right. Well, that's really one of the things, not the only thing, but one of the things we're going to try to touch on tonight as we explore this, and we're going to try to do it from the scriptures. Now, I have a few snapshots here. This happens to be M33, and it's measured by a number of different techniques as being about 2 million light years away. Now, a light year is a measure of distance. It's how far light can travel in 1 year. And it's something just a little short of 6 trillion miles. Big, that's a long way, you know. Feels like a freeway sometimes, I imagine, but it's anyway. M101, it's clocked at about 18 million light years away. Now, this is just a very difficult thing to deal with because the experts who have tried to attack this from a Christian point of view really don't have any good arguments. It appears to be about 18 million light years away. Here is M51, 25 million light years away. And NGC, 32 million light. These are all, I've selected here some spiral galaxies for another reason I'll come to later in the discussion. And that was 32 million light years. Here's M88 at about 65 million light years. Now and there's one more here, NGC 772, which is apparently about 106 million light years away. Spiral galaxies. Now, this leads, of course, to the fundamental questions. Is the universe, in fact, 15 billion years old? Well, that's a difficulty because there are those that try to attack that, but it's hard to find scientific evidence to attack that. I'm not talking about the age of the earth now. That's a whole other thing. The age of the universe. And we all know about the Hubble telescope, named after Edwin Hubble, who formulated what they call Hubble's law. When it was observed in the 20s, primarily, that the light from the stars tends to get shifted to the red. That is, the spectrum of the star gets shifted to the red. He noted that the further away they are, the more they get shifted, and that led to what's called the red shift. And one of the conjectures supporting the red shift was the idea that the reason they're shifted to the red is that they're racing away from us, and by something analogous to the Doppler effect. At least that's been the conventional wisdom. And that's called Hubble's law, and one reason the telescope's named it that. But the question that we struggle with, of course, is because the scripture would indicate that the universe was created in just 6 days. And that's a different issue of what happened after the 6 days. But one of the ways that some people try to get around this is say, well, yes, these things are so many billion light years away, but when God created the universe, these things the light was created in transit to look like it was that far away. That's a view. And many people hold that view. That would imply that the aging factors in our universe were built in. And I personally have trouble with that because that would make God a deceiver. Others like to also wrestle with this idea that the days of Genesis were geological ages. 1 day is as 1,000 years. So they use that excuse to say, well, these were not just thousands of years, they may be millions of years, but they try to match the 6 days described in Genesis with the various geological ages. And there's many creative attempts to try to reconcile it.